I'm Sierra Bender. We're at the Fit Yoga Conference in LA. I have a background in yoga. I have a background as a personal fitness trainer, a massage therapist, holistic healing, medical intuitive. I had a very rare tubular pregnancy that exploded my uterus on Christmas Eve. And I had died and I came back and I didn't want to live anymore. And I prayed every night to God that I knew what I experienced was real. And I knew that human beings were capable of this, and I'd travel anywhere around the world or whatever I needed to do to find this energy that I experienced. And the energy that I experienced was love is not just an emotion, it's the most powerful force. There's energy behind that love and responsibility behind that love. So what ended up happening was I ended up on the front doorsteps of Kripalu because someone had handed me a catalog and said, you know, you're totally lost. I think this would be a great place for you to visit. Well, being a personal fitness trainer and being so in great shape and what I do for a living, I thought, oh, how hard, difficult could yoga be? So I signed up for the month-long teacher training. So that was my athletic mind, of course, like I can defeat this. And what I realized was when I started yoga teacher training, it wasn't about defeating something, it was really about defeating me. When I started to practice yoga, I really felt the sensations and the energy that I felt when I passed over. So I found what I was searching for. I needed to learn how to hold this energy in my body and in this vessel and then be able to walk it in my everyday life. How do I carry this and hold this energy and this intensity in my body without going out of my body? So I ended up living on a Native American reservation. What that taught me was how to be really connected to the earth, Mother Earth. And so she is the biggest goddess, and she can kick our butts in 2 seconds flat, and learning how to work with the earth energy. So, yoga and meditation is great for consciousness, and, it's considered to be like the male energy. It's just a reflection of God's spirit of the male energy, but then I was missing the other piece, which was the female energy, and that consciousness, so the earth consciousness. So a lot of times we become victims of life instead of participating in life. So I really teach about how to come into the medical part of yoga, the healing aspects of yoga, the prana, the flow. It's not so much a physical. The physical body will always benefit from what we're doing when we first work with the other aspects of ourselves, meaning I work from a 4-body fit theory. We have a spiritual body, a mental body, emotional body, and a physical. Our culture starts from the physical and tries to work up to the spiritual. I turn it upside down. What part of you first disconnected from God or spirit doesn't feel worthy of? Then what are the mental head trips, the mental body? What are the belief systems that were conditioned or that were projected upon us? There's certain things that we're conditioned to believe that actually can take us further away or separate us from our higher selves. I mean, we're not paying attention to these things because a lot of times we're taught that emotions are weak. And they're not. It's just energy and movement. And do we know how to work with the energy? We're not honoring the body's intelligence. And so until it becomes in our face like this, and until it becomes cancer, or until it becomes this abrupt illness in our body to say, wake up, we're not listening. I teach how to create balance between, we say male and female. Most people would think of feminine as being the soft, and they'll think of woman. They'll think of compassionate, and they think of this masculine as a stronger, it's more forceful, it's more action. If I was to take the feminine aspect of being open, receptive, intuitive, allowing, committed, and then we're looking at the opposite energy, which would be intuitive, would be, intellectual. If I was to look at committed, I have to be disciplined. If I was to look at the opposite of that energy, devotion, being feminine, honor, being masculine. So I'm looking at both forces and the equality of both forces, and then being able to use them to take in information and then again put it into effect. I am listening, I am paying attention, I am open and receptive to Spirit and God, and don't listen to what's going on the outside, because our culture comes from a practical place, but that does not work for women. But it's not a practical process. And so that's where it gets really hard, and that's where the true warrior has to come in, because you don't know what's on the other side. The reason why I work with women only, I do work with men also, but my love is to work with women because for me, working with women is also healing myself. I did not like being a woman. I didn't like what came with it. I come from a sexual abuse background. I come from an industry of modeling also, and it just really diminished me and my feminine essence, and I didn't feel comfortable being a woman, and it actually took this ectopic pregnancy, this sledgehammer over the head, for me to actually wake up and say, for God's sakes, your uterus blew up, the most precious part of a woman's body. I think it's time you better look at this. I may have lost a child, but I gave birth to Boot Camp for Goddesses. And through that experience of dying and passing over, I was told who I was told what I was to do, and I was told how to do it. And so this is what Boot Camp for Goddesses is. I'm living it every day, and I'm loving it every day, and I was told it would never work. I didn't want to teach. I went through all these different modalities of healing to heal myself because modern medicine wasn't giving me my answers. Modern medicine saved my life, but modern medicine wasn't giving me the answers. They're like, oh, pop a pill, it'll be easier, because I was depressed, I was unhappy. And it was really, I was searching for answers. I ended up in India. I just got on a plane and took off. One magnificent experience happened after another, but that was the new profound strength that I found. Listen to your intuition, trust spirit, it'll guide you. When you listen to that, you will always be guided to do the right thing, and you don't waste as much energy. Little boys and girls play together. They don't know the difference. They don't know the difference of, boy, girl. They see the difference, but they really don't know. They treat each other as equals. And then all of a sudden, the little girl starts to learn, oh, honey, you can't go out by yourself. And they're like, well, why? Because you're going to get hurt. And this fear that is so projected on a young girl at the age of 5, even, it could be even younger depending on the parents or the upbringing or the culture or the environment. This fear is so projected, it paralyzes women, but it's done on such a subtle level, even through religion and different cultures. I mean, even if you go to the text of Buddhism, it states that if you were a woman, born a woman, it was considered bad karma. So although we think we've come a long way, baby, as women, we haven't. We've become more like men, and we've totally gone outside of our true feminine essence. So how could that be power? What's happening is these women are starting to figure this out. Okay, I'm smart, I've accomplished this, but my relationships aren't working out. My kids have problems. I'm not happy, I'm not whatever, because they've totally gone outside of their true feminine essence and saying, this is who I am as a woman, this is what I stand in, and this is what I believe. And everything else can move around that, because we've always had the power. Where did we give it away? Women are starting to come in and they're starting to figure this out. Like, okay, I went to college, do I have kids, do I not have kids? Or, oh, I'm a CEO, I'm 50, 60 years old, I've completed every task, I'm still not happy, I don't understand, but that's what society tells me I'm supposed to do, that's what society tells me what success is. So they come in searching for answers, and they don't know what it is or why they're there, but they're very attracted to that photo, the Boot Camp for Goddesses photo, which is the goddess posture. Women between 30 and 65 are really looking for those answers. They don't even know what the question is. Most of the time what women do is they'll put out so much energy, but they're not taking in as much as they put out. So I teach them how to revive themselves, how to nurture themselves. And the best way to do that is through Mother Earth. She is our mother. She is the biggest goddess. So what women have a tendency to do is go to other people, or they'll go to other women. Well, she's just as fried out as you are. So where are you getting replenished? This is what they're craving, because, and this goes back to the indigenous cultures I worked with. I take all the things that women have been doing for thousands of years and just bring it to the 21st century. So what the women are craving, they're craving initiations, they're craving rituals, they're craving ceremony, they're craving the bond, because that's how women work. We work in a circle. So it's bringing that back, the singing and the rejoicing. So Boot Camp for Goddesses is about, first they have to reclaim themselves, their goddess selves. Then they have to restore what they've lost or what they've given up, and then they can rejoice. They walk away with knowing that as long as I can stay in my center, my hara, which is this, my heart, I am totally open to the world, I am totally open to the universe, but I still have a choice to either A, protect myself if I needed to, B, dodge the energy, just like Tai Chi, oh, that's not my stuff, and I can still come back to my center and not give my power away. So that's the biggest tool that they walk away with. My kids are pulling on me, my husband, my relationship, my coworkers. How can I hold the space, that loving space for myself without giving my energy away? I can love someone, I can give them love, but not only as an emotion, but as this force that's moving through them. So then they learn the difference between codependency and self-love. And what happens is the women come in and they're fragmented. And what boot camp does is help them come into alignment. And when they come into alignment, they actually feel what it's like to be empowered. And empowered actually means just bringing forth what's already within them.